Hi, Jay.
Morning.
Just wondering if you have any sort of update on Darnell Nurse and the likelihood that he might be ready to go for the start of the playoffs.
Well, we're worried about tonight's game. He's out of tonight's game, but it was nice to see him in person today, and we'll see where he is tomorrow. But tonight he's out.
So at this point, not sure, or just not willing to look into the future to...
We're taking care of today's business, Ryan, and he's out of our lineup tonight.
One of the traits your team has shown is a pretty good ability to identify problems and troubleshoot them. What would you say about your group's sort of willingness to take those lessons and the way you guys have gotten through those issues in a fairly timely fashion?
Yeah, I think as much as we want our players to be perfect or our team to be perfect, there are moments that prove to be learning moments throughout a season. And as a coaching staff, we want to capitalize on those moments, as much as sometimes they're not that fun to go through, but we want to take advantage and make sure that we do correct some things. And I think when you go through periods like that or games like that, what I found about our group is that the next day we have their attention, and our job as a coaching staff is to find answers and develop solutions, and we've had a really, really attentive audience anytime we've been in that situation.
Broberg's up. Will he just play the one game and then go back because you're sitting out Russell?
Broberg's in our lineup tonight, and we're taking care of today's business. So he's in our lineup tonight, and we'll see what happens after the game or for tomorrow.
Is it your goal to at least get Archibald a game before the season ends?
I would like to, yeah. Yeah, I would like to, but Archie's not in our lineup tonight. And again, that's just not trying to kid around or anything like that. That's just where we're at. We're taking care of today's business, and then after the game, we'll move on to tomorrow.
And did you have a conversation, I presume you did, with Dustin as to the 2 games left, which goalies would play, and were they both going to play one? Did you ask Mike, who played, last game, which game do you want, or how'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, that's just part and parcel with the communication that we have as a coaching staff, and then communication with our players as well. We don't make any goaltending decisions, or I don't make any goaltending decisions without first considering the opinions of our leader in that department, which is Dustin Schwartz.
You will still play, Connor and Leon and whoever's your big guns, both games?
We're taking care of today's business, and Connor and Leon and all the big guns that we have in our lineup that are playing tonight are focused on the San Jose Sharks.
Has Darnell Nurse been skating on the ice?
No, he has not skated on the ice, but it was nice to see him in person today.
Thank you.
Jay, what's your philosophy in terms of preparing for the playoffs? Do you prefer your guys to stay in the same routine, play the same role, or do you put a focus or a premium on making sure that guys are rested before your first playoff game?
Yeah, I think for us, and it's almost been I keep saying it, but we're focused on the day's business, and we've kept consistent with that messaging right from day one. And I think for our team, we want to make sure that we're in a rhythm, in the proper rhythm, doing things properly, having purpose to our work, understanding that today is an opportunity for us to get better and refine some things in our team game so that we're ready when we start with game 83. But as I said, I keep going back to it, we're taking care of today's business.
Hi, Jay. Drew Remender from the San Jose Sharks.
Hi, Drew.
Nice to meet you. What were your positives in your years in the San Jose Sharks you're able to take away to use you're using now?
Well, the first thing I would say...
Besides the broadcasters were way better.
Yeah. The first thing that I would say is I created a bunch of really good relationships with people that work for the team, players that were on those teams, and people in the community. Lifelong friendships that I'll carry with me as I move forward throughout life. I learned a lot of really good things from the high-end players that we had on those teams. There were a lot of playoff games, and though we didn't, during that time frame, didn't win the Stanley Cup, we were right there on numerous occasions. So I learned a lot, and a lot of lessons that I take forward in my coaching career.
Do you then, to extrapolate on that, we always ask players, you know, what players made you the player you are today? What are the things you learned from different guys? For you, I would ask about coaches. What are the coaches that, you know, you pick a piece of every day when you're making your game?
Sure. Yeah. So when I was a player, I played for a lot of really good coaches, a lot of people who were passionate about the game. One of my favorite coaches was someone named Mark Reeds, who he played for the St. Louis Blues, and he ended up working his way up to the National Hockey League, worked for Ottawa Senators before he passed away. So he was someone who had an impact on me as a young player, and someone I kept in touch with. Obviously, going back to our staff in Detroit, all 4 members of that staff in Detroit went on to become head coaches in the National Hockey League. There was Mike Babcock, Paul McLean, Todd McClellan, obviously. And then I've had good fortune of working at some international tournaments where I created some friendships. Peter DeBoer is one, someone I talked to. You know, in terms of the Team North America, Dave Tippett was there, John Cooper was there, Gerard Gallant, all kind of who's who of the generation of coaches that are coaching in the National Hockey League. Each one left an indelible mark on me and has affected the way I think about the game. I've also worked with a lot of really good assistant coaches, guys like Trent Yanni and you know, Larry Robinson, Matt Shaw, Jim Johnson, Ian Herbers here in Edmonton, and some of the assistant coaches that I've had along the way when I've been a head coach. Obviously, you guys know Dave, but you know, JF Hoole's been a good coach, and now is starting his career in Laval in the American League as a head coach, and Colin Chalk, who's down in Bakersfield for us. So I think what happens as you weave your way through your coaching career is that different people have different influences on you, and you take a little piece of each person. And I'm fortunate because I've been around some really, really good people.
Jay, it looks like based on the morning skate, yes, he's going to get back in the lineup tonight, back with McDavid and Kane. Him and Yamamoto swap. Well, you know, obviously it's good to have flexibility. What do you see in the difference when you put either one on either the McDavid or the Draisaitl line? Is there something that you like? I
like the versatility of being able to use either one in that position. I think for Yessi, you know, he's obviously a big body, someone who goes to hard areas and opens up space for his line mates. I think when I think of Yamamoto, I see someone who does a lot of work for his line mates, plays inside people, hounds pucks, keeps pucks alive. Both of them have been good defensively, and I think just having the flexibility to move them around the lineup makes them dangerous players, and it's a good luxury for a coaching staff to have.
You've talked a lot this year about, you know, certain things you want to do right every day, and one day it's rest right. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Derek Ryan talked about his experience, said one time we were on a team and we were clinched and we kind of just relaxed, and guys played less minutes, some guys healthy scratch, didn't like it.
Yeah.
Him and Nuge both said they want to play, and you're big on communication. When you talk to your guys over these next 2 games, and specifically tonight, so let's focus on today.
Yeah.
Are you still into, you know, tonight as balancing? I want guys to stay in a rhythm, but also being mindful of rest, so maybe some minutes are reduced. How do you balance that?
First of all, I want to compliment you. You could be up here now and be given that message, so good job, Jason. I would say that, and I tried to explain it earlier in one of my answers, was that we want to have purpose to our work tonight. And the biggest thing is that we're trying to be ready for game 83 and make sure that we maintain our level of rhythm. And to do that, you don't want to do things that are out of character. So we're going to stay in character. We're going to continue to work at different parts of our game. We have a focus tonight. And for us, the thing that's not lost on us is that the San Jose Sharks are playing hard. They're playing very hard. And they're going to push us tonight, and we better be ready for them.
You talked about one of the few times where it was a bigger picture, it was 100 points as a team. You've achieved that. You've also, you've got 12-0-1 in your last 13 games. Since March 9th, you haven't lost in real hockey. You lost in a shootout. What's changed for your team on home ice? Because you were here for close to a month, and now in the last 7 weeks, you haven't lost a game while playing real hockey. What's changed for your home team mentality and psyche?
Well, I think in every team, I believe, starts out with the goal of making their home ice difficult to play in. And we just put a real emphasis on playing the game the right way, not trying to put on a show, not trying to do anything out of character, just putting an emphasis on speed and simplicity in our own building and feeding off the energy of our crowds. One of the things that we've had here over that time is good starts, and we're going to need that as we move forward. Good, thanks.